Hello there. Conversation design is one of the most important skills for today and tomorrow, but it has a lot in common with two super important skills that are close to it: UX writing and localization. My name is Aran Soroka, head of marketing operations at CoCoHub Conversational Components. Today we have a very special episode with two masters of the aforementioned professions. I'm so honored to present Racheli Kremer, CEO and founder of Versio Academy. Hey, Racheli.
Hi, Aran. How are you?
I'm great. And Yuval Keshtcher, CEO and founder of UX Writing Hub website and the host of the Writers in Tech podcast. How are you, Yuval?
I'm good, Aran. Thank you so much for having me today.
You're welcome, both. So for me, UX writing and conversational design are close cousins. Do you also see it that way?
Definitely. So basically, in my opinion, I feel like conversational designers are much more, most of the efforts going to how the conversation of the chatbot or something like that is designed, while UX writers would focus probably more on UI interface, maybe apps, websites, and stuff like that. The reason that people might say that they are close cousins, excuse me, is because in both of these practices, there are similar ways to do them, and those would be to analyze how people talk to each other, and based off that, creating and designing those experiences. And that's why I feel like they might feel related to people.
What are the main differences between those fields, in your opinion?
So in my opinion, I feel like when you will talk about conversation design, many people will think about voice user interface, chatbots, and some kind of technology that you create conversation with. So it might be it. Well, when we're talking about UX writing, so the conversation is most often one-sided, while the interface feels like conversational interface. I feel like it will be one-sided conversation. You wouldn't expect for a conversational reaction from that interface, in my opinion. But I might be wrong here. It's really a matter of how you perceive this, the field of conversation design.
Generally speaking, Racheli, what are the main areas in which chatbot can improve a customer's experience?
Well, I think that both UX design and UX writing and conversation writing, they all should be as much gendered or speak in the language of the user. So if we're using, if for example, the user is female, it would be very much, it's very important for the chatbot or text to be written in a gendered language. So that has a very big impact on the user staying with the chat and continue to converse with it. It would be as it's strange for me to talk with the chatbot in the masculine manner. It would be strange for you to talk with it as a female.
Yuval?
So I feel like Rachel talked about very fantastic points. So basically, when you feel like the bot is out of touch, and when you feel like it's not talking specifically to you, you're going to be frustrated as a user. So you can feel that not only, you can feel that definitely, and that was a great example when it's a gender reaction, but also when the bot will tell you good night when it's actually morning, or even when you will try to say something to the chatbot and they wouldn't understand you time after time after time. As a user, you might feel extremely frustrated with that experience, and there are a lot of challenges to create a tailor-made user experience, and the main challenge is technological, how to actually make it feel like another person is talking with you and not a robot.
Mhm.
I want to add something. I think that at the end of the day, the chatbot is there for a reason, and its main reason is to help the user of any company, any business, to reach to wherever they need to go. So if they want to know how to fill some form, for example, it's important for the chatbot to give that user the specific and clear instructions of where they can find that form or information about anything. So there must be a link between the user's needs and the end result.
Which leads me to the next question. How important is it for companies and businesses these days to have a responsive interface that enables the user to or customer to interact with it?
I think it's make or break. If the company wants any user to remain as users or customers, they have to make sure that the journey of that user in the company's website is as easy as possible, with clear instructions and clear language, and everything needs to be very user-friendly. So, and the language needs to be not high, but very understandable.
I feel like there is also another great thing about having chatbots that collecting information from users, which is having data and interesting data points about the users. So let's take a very common interface from Lemonade, for example, and they have like Maya, the bot that's collecting information. At the end of the day, the data that you put in that conversational interface, that is not specifically a bot, it's more of a form. But let's take that example. So Lemonade can use that data to create a tailor-made marketing for you. But in addition to that, tailor-made quote as well, based on the data. So Lemonade, by the way, it's an insurance company for people that don't know. So let's say that you wanted to have a pet insurance for a specific range, for a specific pet. So at the end of the day, 1 year from now, they will know that your pet is a dog and not a cat, and that your the price that you want to invest, the money that you want to invest it is X, and they can use that data to connect, first of all, different data points and have some kind of a map about all of their users. But in addition, to create better experience for you with, as I said before, marketing and sales, but also in the product itself.
And of course, based on that data, they can see the abandonment points and the pain points. So they can improve the customer journey and know where they need to make, to put more efforts to improve that path, that journey.
100%, creating better conversations in those, let's say, bottlenecks in the interface.
As users of digital interfaces, what are the main pain points today of users trying to engage with chatbot?
Well, I think that we spoke about it earlier about the having having an interface that is as gendered as possible, clear as possible, have ease the journey of any user. So people today have less free time and their patience is very low, their threshold. So the quicker the user gets to where they want to be, the better for the company to convert that user into a customer.
Yuval?
I agree with Rachel. So we covered most of the pain points that there are today with chatbots for users, and those are the frustrations that you have when the bots just don't get what you want to say to them, and it's like next level frustration. It's not regular frustration, but you're actually getting mad when you have to repeat yourself one time after one time after one time. It's very frustrating. So those are the pain points, and they are definitely harder than regular pain points that you have in like user interface. But when you have some kind of a chatbot that don't get you, there is a really great likelihood that you're not going to use it ever again. So it's a really big pain point because companies can't afford to have a bad first impression.
How
Yeah,
much?
especially these days when, because of the coronavirus, we have more, we see a big rise of using chatbots than ever before. So people, since they are locked at home, they use online shopping or online services. So it's very prominent now. We can see it more because of coronavirus.
How much do no-code conversational AI platforms can make chatbot writing accessible and easier for both UX writers, Yuval, and localizators, Racheli?
All right, so there were a few buzzwords here, so let's break it down a little bit. So there is some kind of a revolution right now, which is the no-code revolution. You know, people that want to build products and services without using code or low code, as some might say. And you have website builders like Webflow and Wix that help you to build websites, for example, without knowing how to code. So that's no code. Now, the second thing that we said is AI, right? No-code conversational AI platform. So AI is artificial intelligence. Basically, many people that talk about artificial intelligence refer to machine learning that do stuff that some kind of, I don't know, algorithms and structures that help you to predict maybe behavior or something like that, and conversational AI. So if we'll take this question to a more general place, which is how AI can impact writers in general. So I'd say that I feel that there is two kind of opinions here. So one opinion of people might be that the AI, the robots are here to replace us, but the other opinion would be that they're going to enhance us and help us to create better stuff at the end of the day. So I believe that AI is going to help us to enhance our work, just like, you know, every new tool that is out there is helping us to do a better job, and it's not here to replace us. So I feel like any conversational AI platform that is going to come up is going to help us writers to create better experience at the end of the day, and to be more busy with problem solving and less busy with, you know,
the technical side.
Exactly. And let's take, for example, a very common AI tool, which is Gmail. So when you write a Gmail, sometimes you have the, you know, when you're about to finish a sentence, so it's already finished it for you based on your previous
autofill. Yeah,
exactly. So that's a really good example of AI or machine learning or whatever. So that feature helped me to write more emails, more accurate emails in less time. So basically this AI solution is enhancing my ability to perform better than is here to replace me. So I feel like that's how we should look at it.
Yeah, well, often in our localization course, one of the first questions that we, the teachers, are asked is whether machine translations like Microsoft Translate or Google Translate will replace us. And they won't, because they, at the end of the day, they make our work easier. And there will always be a need for us, the localization experts, to check the translation, the machine translation, and to verify that it is okay and it uses UI terms, user interface terms, and that it speaks at the organizational language. So I agree with Yuval that AI is here to help us to improve our work, to facilitate it. And yes, Well, I can tell you that I'm very excited about the no-code conversational or any learning because or any profession, because that means that I can improve my profession and I can offer more services to my clients. So the idea of having a platform like CoCoHub where I can easily write the entire flow of a chatbot without knowing any HTML or C++ or C+++++, it's amazing to me. And I think that it really helps people like us who are in the digital world offer our clients more services, improve our work, and it's cool. I'm very excited about the CoCoHub platform, for example, and really waiting for our course to start.
Also, where people are saying, well, the chatbots will replace us, we're saying, no, they won't. But if they do, at least be the ones that write them. Yes. Also, how important is the localization aspect when writing a UX for a global company that strives to start exploring a new market, for example?
Well, here's the thing. Localization is mistakenly regarded as something that is only for global companies, but it's not. It's for local companies as well. And any locale or country or language or country in that, take Israel, for example. We have Hebrew speakers, we have English speakers, we have Arabic speakers and Amharic speaker, and many more languages. So localization is not just for companies who want to expand overseas or who are global. That's globalization. Localization is totally local. You can have a local audience and speak to that audience in different languages. So if you have an Israeli user whose mother tongue is Arabic, you can talk to that user in Arabic, even though they're local. So that's one thing. The other thing, to me, I see localization as the godmother of all digital related activities: UX writing, microcopy, conversational AI, conversation design, translation, editing. They are all under that umbrella of the godmother localization. And everything, localization isn't just translation, which is often mistakenly perceived as, okay, so localization is translation. It's not. It refers to the graphic components and to the audio-visual components and to the language and to the interface, directionality, and many other aspects. So like localization is key for any company that wants to speak to its target audiences in their language, whatever that language is and wherever those users or end users are.
I agree with Rachel. Rachel is definitely the localization expert here, and I'm here to learn from her as well. So thank you for your answer. What I have to say about localization is that, okay, let's take Netflix, for example. They just, a few years ago, they came to Israel and they are in Hebrew now. So my parents, they're 65, 60-something years old. They would never use Netflix if it wasn't in Hebrew. So that's a really great example of localization. So Netflix could not penetrate the Israeli market as well if they weren't localizing themselves. And this is only one example out of trillions and trillions and trillions of examples. And Rachel was talking about an example, for let's say, Arabic interface for people in Israel. So it's not only important to write an Arabic interface for Arabic people in Israel, but it would be different from an Arabic interface in Egypt and in Dubai. It would be different parts of localization, different tongues. I don't know Arabic, so I have a lot of examples about that, but only in India you have 60 something languages. It's like a lot of localization challenges are here, and the better localized that your product is going to be, so the better you're going to penetrate to different markets. And that's a big challenge.
Okay, I learned a lot. I believe we also learned from each other here. So thank you very much for this fascinating conversation. Racheli Kremer of Versio Academy, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, everyone.
And Yuval Keshtcher of UX Writing Hub, thank you so much for your time also.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you. And yeah, the course of Versio Academy and CoCoHub is upcoming. All the details will be in the comments. And good luck for all of us. And have a great day.
Thank you.
Ciao. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.